Relationships are difficult. You need to make time for things, stick to them when they're not doing so well, overcome your insecurities. And today I wanted to talk about one of my most complex personal relationships, that's with art. Now, you may know me primarily as a medical student, but I've had quite a journey with art also. It is one of fear, confusion, insecurity, and passion. So today I will do a full walkthrough for those of us who have a confused identity because we sit somewhere between two very different passions, and I'll explain how I went from this to this through all of the stages of my artistic journey so far. Let's get straight into it. The first stage is the inception, and especially with art, I find there is this huge question of nature versus nurture, and I guess to some extent I was interested in art from the very beginning. However, there is a caveat to this. I don't think that I was necessarily talented to start with. I just was very determined to be the best in my class at everything, so I tried very hard to also be the best in my class at art, if that makes sense. So I don't think that I was necessarily talented at all. I was just a very determined child. But as I got a bit older, things started to change because I no longer had art classes at school, so I didn't necessarily need to be in touch with it anymore. However, I found myself even more attracted to art. And I think this was because when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of documentaries and read a lot of encyclopedias, so I kind of got interested in the more background aspects to art, its cultural and historical importance, and its significance for us as human beings. So I remember being glued to this sort of information and thinking that art is just really, really cool. I became obsessed with it, with its power, with its symbolism, with its quality, and I wanted to have it. But seeing as it was completely impossible for my parents to actually buy me real art for myself, I didn't have any, and they were happy to just buy me canvases and paint and kind of let me do my thing. So I tried to copy the pieces that I wanted to have in my bedroom, and this is kind of where my painting journey started. And these paintings were absolutely terrible. I will show a few of them. Yep, the quality is appalling. I did not know what I was doing, but I just found it very, very fun. Now, the second stage of my journey is the dark ages, and I call it this because it's when I completely stopped making art at all. And the reason for this was that I thought that I had to sit down and decide what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't see any way that I could feasibly make art work on its own because I'm just so passionate about medicine and science. So I thought it just wouldn't work, so I had to focus all my attention on getting into medical school, becoming a medical student, and kind of completely ignoring art as this, fun thing that I like to do in my free time, but which isn't very important. So sadly, for a couple of years, I didn't draw or paint anything, and I kind of completely disregarded that passion of my life. I would still read a lot about it, I would still watch my fun documentaries, and I would pine in my soul and think that at some stage I would just run away and become an artist, but that fortunately never happened. The third stage of my art journey is the Renaissance, and I am so grateful for it, because what happened was when I started medical school, I realized that I just had all this free time, and I finally had the space to kind of go back to art again. And the way that I paint often is that I guess I'm feeling something in my life and I try to make sense of it in what is happening by usually journaling or doing something of the sort, and then I try to find some artistic way to symbolize it. So for the first time in many years, I actually made a physical painting, and this was done in my dorm in first year of medical school, and I just refound my passion for art again, I guess, and I started to pay a bit more attention to it. I went all in kind of drawing anatomy whenever I had the chance to, justifying that it was for learning purposes, which I'm not too sure if that's true, but I was very passionate about art again. And what happened in this time, I found out about a degree in medical art, and I thought I had to immediately apply because it kind of was my dream. And These are the people who basically illustrate textbooks. And if you're in medicine at all, you probably definitely know about Netter and his Atlas of Anatomy. And I thought, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to be a doctor and I want to be Netter. And so I wanted to apply for this program, but because I'd just come out of my dark ages, I didn't have a portfolio. So I spent a full summer basically locked in Gordon's museum, listening to music and creating a portfolio, in the end of which I did get accepted into the program, which I am currently going through right now. And these are some of the drawings that I made for it. Now, before I go on to the current and the future stages of my medical art journey, I just wanted to pause for a second on the bigger picture here. I think there are two main lessons that I've learned from this whole thing. The first one is that I cannot predict my life. Me, at the age of 16, sitting down and writing what I want to do in my future is not the way that my life will end up being. And there's no purpose in kind of making these big decisions and setting things in stone and saying, oh, I must never touch a pencil again, and being so melodramatic about my artistic journey being gone, when you don't know what life will throw at you. And I mean this in the best way possible. I think that if you actually want something and you keep it in the back of your mind and you keep working on it silently, that life will just give you these opportunities to showcase your work, to get better at it, and to kind of continue and grow. And that's definitely what happened with me with the course that I'm doing right now. And the second point is that no educational pursuit is futile. I strongly believe in this. And I think that every time that I have a passion, be it whatever, it might be an interest in a random corner of Antarctica and the rocks that are there, or it might be an interest in science or physics or quantum mechanics, and whatever it is, I don't think that it is futile to be passionate in anything, because again, you don't know when life might give you the opportunity to kind of go in that direction and work on what you are happy to do. And this is where we get to CuriosityStream, which is one of the biggest documentary platforms out there. And I am so excited that they are actually sponsoring this video. I am clearly very passionate about education and growth, and I am absolutely thrilled to be supported by a platform which believes in the same things. Education has been a huge part of most of my journeys in life so far. I honestly think, especially for students, the benefit of CuriosityStream is just ridiculous, and it costs literally nothing. We have a 26% discount, which basically means that you pay under $15 for a full year of CuriosityStream, and that's just like the price of a decent takeaway, and you get access to literally thousands of documentaries on any sort of topic that you like. I am currently geeking out on my passion for true crime. Also, when I want to relax, I do love to listen to a bit of David Attenborough. It is one of the best investments I think that you can make, and by doing so, you also get free access to Nebula, which is where educational creators like myself have our videos up, so you can get the full ad-free experience of people like me and Ali over there. So yes, if you do want to sign up to one of the best investments on the internet, my discount code is in the description. But now I'm going to move on to the pandemic era of my artistic journey. Now, the pandemic and the lockdown has been rough in many different aspects, and I feel as though I often deal with a lot of work by taking more on. So it's been a combination of having genuinely a lot to do and not feeling in the right space to create art. That means that I haven't actually painted in 2 years. I've done a fair bit of drawing, but not as much painting as I'd like. So yeah, this has been another second dark ages, but I don't feel guilty for it necessarily, because I know that it just hasn't felt right now, and I know I will pick it back up again once my exams are over. And the current stage is that of the internet. I am so grateful for this platform, not only because it gives me the space to talk about things that I am passionate about, but also because I feel as though the more people there are, and the more people that are supporting this channel, also the more we can together support causes that I think are important. So I don't want to leave art just as its thing on its own. I'm going to try, I think, in the summer to incorporate my passion for art for other causes that I think are important to support, such as education and women's shelters and things like that. So I'm still thinking on how exactly I can do this. If you have any advice or suggestions, please let me know. I would be greatly interested. But I think that that is the plan for the future in regards to my art, and of course graduating from the diploma that I am currently doing, hopefully in the next few years. In the end, I just want to touch a bit on imposter syndrome. I have been looking at videos of artists on YouTube, and I love watching people paint, but it also highlights the fact that I've never been taught to do it before. So I don't think that I'm doing it right, if there even is such a way. So I do often feel quite nervous to share my art online because I think people will point out all the things that I'm doing wrong and the fact that I'm just been self-taught throughout most of my life to do these things. But I think I'm getting over myself and my insecurities, and I will hopefully be sharing a lot more soon. So yes, in the end of the day, I think my main learning points from this whole journey is that, one, I don't think art was a talent of mine. I think it was just something that I was determined to work on because I felt passionate about it. And secondly, that we should stick to our passions, watching movies about things that we are interested in, listening to podcasts about things we are interested in, signing up to CuriosityStream and watching documentaries on things we are interested in, reading books, just keeping things brewing in the background and our passions, slightly burning away and with little bits of fuel now and then is very important, because life is good. And I think that we will be rewarded for our work in opportunities to get better at it and work more at it. So I think this is my attitude towards it in general. If you made it to the end of this video, honestly, thank you so much for your interest in my journey and your interest in art in general. I hope that anything I said today was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be kind to yourself and others, and don't believe everything you think. Thanks. Bye.